Hello, lovely ones. How are you? It's Chantel here, and I need to have a bit of a chat with you guys because some of you might not like what I'm going to say today, but I feel it's important to say regardless. And that's because I've been seeing a little bit of a trend happening both here in this group and in other groups, and it really deeply upsets me. And here in this group in particular, I want us to hold us to a greater standard of excellence in running the studio. And the trend is this. I have seen posts where a studio owner has referred to the parents of the studio as selfish. I've seen them refer to parents as obnoxious and as annoying and a whole lot of other things that essentially kind of negatively referring to the parents in your studio. And this just, to me, it's so upsetting. And the reason is this. So my mum, Trini always taught me growing up that for every action there is a consequence, and we have to take responsibility for all of the consequences in our life. That was like the soundtrack of my teenage years. Let me tell you right now, there is an action for every consequence, and we must take responsibility for every consequence. And so here's how Trini's advice relates to this. If you are getting consistently parents who are grumpy and who haven't paid on time, who are getting aggressive with you when it comes to, they don't know the information. Here's the crux. I want you to listen to me really carefully now. You haven't got bad parents. You might have a few, but on the whole, if you're seeing this across the board, it's not about the bad parents. We have bad systems in our studio. And I can tell you why. So I'm so fortunate to be able to literally work with thousands of studio owners across dozens of countries, okay? And I'm able in this situation to be able to see the trends. I'm able to see the patterns. What makes this studio owner over here who has, ease, who never has money outstanding, who has got happy parents, whose retention is fantastic, who enjoys running the business because it's easy. What's the difference between this studio and what they're doing and this studio over here who has got $12,000 in outstanding tuition, who has got parents kind of knocking on their door, kind of needing to have a word with them left, right and center, who's got retentions all over the place? What is the difference between this studio and this studio? And my job is to elicit what that is and find out how to take this studio to be like this studio over here. That's what I do every day, yeah? And I can tell you that it starts with a very, very intellectual thought process about designing the experience for convenience, for ease, for joy, for consistency. And I want to say, if you are posting this way, or even if you're not posting, even if you're feeling this way, there is a gap in our system. There is a gap in the system in the studio that's not getting the results that you desire. Yeah? So we need to look very carefully. Okay, if you have got X amount of money outstanding, we need to have a complete review of how you're receiving funds in the studio. What are your processes for collection, yeah? We need to work that out. And then let's say if this whole recital or competition business has been just a total palaver, obviously there's something in it that's not missing. We need to find that perfect kind of design archetype that will just suit you and your parents and what they want, and thinking through the experience. Because what happens is that even energetically, okay, can I get a bit woo-woo with you here? Like woo-woo wise, if energetically I'm projecting this feeling of like, I hate the parents, I wish I didn't have to deal with the parents, I wish I could just teach the kids. Do you ever find yourself saying this? I wish I could just teach. I wish I didn't have to manage the expectations of the parents. If you resonate with that, again, we need to work on the systems, but I want to tell you why. Because that really, if you think about it, our whole business is designed around creating an experience that works for the students, but the families as well. And so energetically, if we've got this negativity, if we've got this kind of barrier that's kind of like you're fighting them, we're fighting our core customer. These people are your core customer. And if you're thinking about them like they're selfish and they're annoying and they're aggressive, that's not how you want them to feel, because your energy is going to be shared with them, yeah? When you speak to them, you've got your back up, as opposed to having that kind of softness of welcoming, of nurturing that we seek for. If our systems aren't supporting you, then we can't support the parents like you intend to. You with me? This is so important for you to think about. I'm so passionate about this. Because if we continue to speak negatively about parents, even if we joke about it, what is that saying? Who are we being as studio owners? What do we stand for? You know, I can't tolerate the idea that we speak badly about the people who matter to us the most. Without the parents, we've got nothing. We've got nothing. And if you're speaking negatively to their face or behind their back or anywhere in particular, we need to design the systems in the studio so that you don't have to feel that way. You do not have to tolerate this level of animosity that I think is out there. The parents are the enemy. No, they're not. They're your asset. The parents are your asset. So let's take responsibility. Let's do what my mother says. Let's take responsibility and find out, okay, well, what do I need to change? What do I need to do differently so I get different feedback? That's the question I want you to ask yourself today. What do I need to do differently to gain a different result in the studio that's going to work for them and for me? Can we do that? And can we stop the bashing of the parents? I can't handle it. And, you know, I can't control what goes on in other groups, but I can certainly set some guidelines around here in this group. Because I know and you know that really we want to make everyone happy. We want to make our studio a place where people feel happy and confident and it's an enjoyable place to be and where everyone feels like that sense of light-eyed sparkliness that we love. So let's do things differently. And it's not always easy. It takes thought. It takes conscious effort. But I know you can do it. And so I'm asking you to do this with me. I'm asking you to raise the level of accountability for the results you're getting in your studio. And I'm asking you to speak differently about your teachers and your team. And if you can do that, our whole industry will rise and you'll get more ease in running the business. Your parents will be happy, your retention will be higher, and everyone will be happier. And that's what I want most of all for you. So thank you for letting me have my little rant. I hope it makes sense. If you agree with me, type in below and say you're with me or something else. And let's all just commit to really thinking through what is our business model going to be able to meet the needs of our market. I was always taught, actually I was on this note, I was always taught that the market will dictate your business. If your parents aren't enjoying an element of the business, we need to be the ones to change. We can't allow them to feel the animosity. We've got to think it through. So that's what I want you to do. Just go think it through. What do I need to do differently? How can I take better responsibility for the actions I'm receiving? Thank you for being here and thank you for being a part of this community. I thank you for being part of a community that stands for excellence, that stands for a high level of responsibility, that stands for beauty in studio management. I thank you for being here. And I thank you for keeping the conversation pure on studio business and for retaining that sense of positivity that is so rare. And I thank you for preserving that in this group because it is special, it is precious, and not every group is like this. Not every group. You guys can feel it. There's a difference in the energy. And I am devoted to helping to preserve that positive energy, that positive place of learning. And so I really thank you for your support in that because it matters. It matters. Have a beautiful day, gorgeous ones. Speak soon.